Nova does a lot of these really awesome 4 to 5 man rotations, so I feel like they need to continue to do that. They're really good at these rotations that catches the enemy team off guard. And look at this, they actually anticipated them defending the blue, and they're going for the red instead. And look at, they're able to catch Max out, and they might get a kill here potentially. So really well played there. It pushes Max off, and now they're able to secure the red on the side of JungleBook. And look at what iFlex is doing. He's basically denying Mowgli to try to get the red and invade here, but Mowgli will rotate with his team to try to contest the red, and looks like they're collapsing onto JungleBook, which is going to be really good. 4
members for both of these teams are on the bottom side of the map. You're going to see Y01 charging in. He's still only level 1. You got a couple mixed experiences for both of these teams, but 01's going to end up picking that kill onto Mowgli, securing themselves first blood. Oxy, meanwhile, taking a lot of damage from that second ability of the Ryoma. And we've seen Ryoma be such a powerhouse in the early stages of these matches.
Yeah, this is looking so good for the side of Nova so far. This is exactly what they want to do. Be aggressive, slow down the counter engage. That was such a beautiful distraction by iFlex there, pushing Mowgli out. And then because he's in that jungle, giving vision on his team, they're able to respawn and rotate down to counter. And iFlex escaped with a sliver of his health on Lubu there, and as a result, forced JungleBook to overextend. And look at this combo there from the Thane and the Crayon there on Ryoma. And this is why Ryoma is so good in early game and why he's picked so often.
Not only that, but he synchronizes so well with the Thane, the lockup allowing the cycle, the ability cycle and rotation coming out of Crayon's Ryoma to show all that power. And so now we're starting to see the very standard movements of Nova Esports, getting themselves a lead, getting themselves ahead, and starting to get the ball rolling down the snowy field hill, hoping for that snowball as they're going to get themselves off a little bit onto the Sage side jungle. It will be secured there by Hardstuck, but all the while it's going to be 4 members. I like these 4-man rotations. They're not allowing for 1, they're not allowing for 2. Every member that's available from the side of Nova is getting off at every time they can. Crayon's going to be able to pick up the kill onto Hardstuck. Mowgli's going to try to get that support, but Oxy will walk away with the victory. That's going to be a kill going into the favor of the Violet, but she still will end up losing her life 5-1 in favor of Nova.
Yeah, look at what's happening in the side lane here. This is allowing the rotations that we see from Nova. iFlex is clearly winning against the Zenio. Zenio and Violet just can't do much against the Lubu. They're actually side laning the Violet, and she, although she has the range, she just can't contest against a Lubu that's able to clear waves so fast and put so much pressure. And you can see Omen just dominating the Max. Omen completely counters Max in the lane matchup, and if Max wants to out over, Omen can just easily take 1 or 2 towers with ease. So this is a really good draft by the side of Nova, and they're completely abusing their lane matchups right now.
The bleeding has started for the side of JungleBookSquad. They're going to have to find a way to get themselves some mud, kind of, you know, patch it up a little bit. What are those tactics? What's going to be the mud to stop the bleeding here for JungleBookSquad?
Yeah, JungleBook needs to try to, they need to secure their jungle and just let Violet kind of scale up and get damage, and then get an uneven fight here, like exactly what they're doing here. But look at the amount of damage in that Thane ultimate. A little too early though. However, they're able to catch Mowgli off guard and might be able to get the kill on him. But he actually goes back in instead of trying to Malice out, and he escapes with a sliver of his health. And Skull King, with that rotation, coming down, landing the Peg Spectre and the Poison Gas Bomb combo. Again, Skull King is a beast on this Preda.
We were talking about that as we coming into game number 1. The power of Skull King's Preda and creating that opportunity. He is going to have plenty of options considering the fact that he does have a very hardcore front line with Mowgli and Madeline playing that Zenio and Max respectively. But he's also going to have to be careful on the positioning because there's lots of diving opportunities for the side of Nova.
Yeah, you got to look at Sepka. He has 2k gold lead over the Max at 1.6. So he is getting fed and farming up the side lane there. Once Omen gets super fed and gets tanky, he can go in with Death's Embrace, his ultimate. He can lock down the Violet easily because he has that flicker ability. He can go in there, creates Death Embrace. It lasts for 5 seconds. It traps the hero inside his little gauntlet for 5 seconds. And this is a play that no one needs to turn on here. They need to get a pick here, get the dragon, and get some kills. Let's see what's going to happen.
As now Abyssal Dragon will end up going out into the favor of Noah. Crayon wiping that one from the rest of the map. Hardstuck is going to find himself in a hard place. as Viflex is able to pick himself that kill. A nice little flank there coming onto Dark. The Liliana wasn't as much of a factor in game number 1, but the prowess that we're seeing coming out of Dark is definitely showing in game 3.
Yeah, I wish Liliana changed to Fox form in that fight. iFlex got a huge 3 to 4 man knockup in that fight. If Nova Dark went in there and transformed to Fox form and then used his abilities to just burst people down, they would have turned that fight down really quickly in their favor. But instead, he doesn't. And look at that beautiful stun there. The Binding Light hitting Madeline and getting the kill onto the Max. And Mowgli is in a really rough spot.
Sevka is going to end up trying to pick up that kill onto Mowgli. Mowgli will end up going down, however, it is Dark that picked up that kill. Crayon, meanwhile, will find himself in a heap of Jungle Book Squad members. Will end up falling, and so it is still going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of Nova, but they were able to get themselves just a little bit of a recoil kill.
Yeah, look at that rotation there. He's going to be able to get the tower here. Looks like they're going to give over a free tower to the side of Nova. Oxy does rotate in time, but is he going to save the tower? No, he will not. Now this opens up the dragon side of the map. Now Nova can continue to assert dominance on that side, secure dragons, and now start taking the jungle. But they have to get a jungle rotation timer onto the side of Jungle Book so that Nova can continue to invade and make sure that they don't touch their blue side of the jungle.
6.5 minutes in this game, 4,000 gold in favor of Nova Esports, playing back to their name, Sen, and the super early, powerful early game that they've had. Supernova is potentially coming out, as Suijay has predicted, as now we're starting to see another rough opportunity. You got a little bit of a heal coming out of Mowgli, but it's not going to be enough as Dark ends up going ultimate, showing the team his light. Mowgli going to have to be forced to walk away, but again, Nova just steamrolling.
Yeah, that Liliana, Dark on Liliana, he's doing such a good job of landing his stuns on Liliana, doing so much work there. I mean, those stuns are setting up so many good plays for his team, and following up with the AoE damage that they have. Dark right now is playing Liliana so well.
Plenty of a lead in favor of Nova. 5,000 gold deficit. We've seen this before. Sorry, 6,000 gold deficit now by Jungle Book Squad. We've seen this before. We've talked about it plenty of times, Suijay. Is there an opportunity for Jungle Book Squad to come back, or is this aggression by Nova just going to be too large at this point?
Yeah, it's pretty large right now. They need to catch Nova off guard and fight an uneven matchup, like a 5 versus a 4, and etc. So right now, Nova is rotating really well. They're going to start focusing on Dark Slayer here, and it's great job, you know, with Lubu tanking. His ultimate Conqueror allows him to tank so much damage and lifesteal all back. It looks like they're going to be able to take this Dark Slayer uncontested, which is going to allow them to push even more towers against Jungle Book.
Jungle Book finding themselves in a much more difficult position, not wanting to find themselves back into relegation. They already had to fight through that last Saturday. They don't want to find themselves in that same position again, because we all know, and you know, the scary fact of the relegations is the fact that just because you find yourself there, yes, you can get yourself in the top 8, but if you lose, Suijay, you have to go right back into the gauntlet that's the open qualifier.
Exactly. So you have to win your relegation, because if you don't, you're going to go right back into the open qualifier gauntlet, and a lot of teams are showing up. We saw non-toxic esports from NA show up here, and now Team Queso, a newcomer into this top 8. So it's great to see how the competitive scene is continuing to develop, and look at what Nova is doing. They're continuing to push their lead. They're taking the jungle, and they're going to take another top tower because of the distraction that Sepka is doing. Sepka is so good at solo lane pushing. He's creating such a distraction, and he's forcing the enemy team to respond to him, because if they do not respond to Sepka, he's going to continue to take more and more towers.
More and more towers might be falling to Jungle Book. 3, to be exact, have been taken thus far, as now Mowgli and Sevka again are finding themselves. There's that ultimate coming out, not allowing him to move. He's going to actually be forced to ultimate away.
He ulted himself, I think. So he queued himself. Oh, and they take it there. Look at that. They're continuing to just dominate jungle. This is exactly what Nova needs to do. They need to go ahead and continue to starve jungle and really make some plays here.
As now we're coming up on this 10-minute mark, and it is still the power of Nova coming through. Crayon's going to have to be forced to heal and run away as Skull King's ultimate comes down. But look at that damage coming out of Liliana. There's a reason why she's put to the bench many times. 3-0 and 6 has already completed Orb of the Magi, as well as that boomstick. picking themselves up on her third item very shortly.
Yeah, I'm so impressed with how Dark is playing Liliana. He's landing so many clutch Binding Lights. Binding Light is... Liliana fires his magic missile, it explodes on enemy target, and it stuns them for a solid 1 second. And if they can get a lot of these stuns off, and look at that damage coming from Liliana there, transforming to Fox form and taking the pick up. That's exactly how you want to play Liliana. This is why she's such a good mage. She outpokes the entire enemy team. Like, Preda is not good into Liliana because Liliana, it literally is the counter to every mage. They cannot outrange her Shining Light, which has an effective range of 1,600 units, which is more than any other mage can. And look at that beautiful stun there, and they're not able to get the kill, and Skull King gets away just in time.
I want to draw it over to the talents for a second, Suijay. We've seen the power of the double punish that we had over the side of Nova, the standard single punish that we see many teams play, but zero punish is actually on the side of Nova. As we might actually have to pause that piece of analysis as Mowgli is going to find himself done. Zenial the Immaculate finds himself as Zenial the Dead, as he ends up going straight to the gray screen. 11-4 in favor of Nova Esports.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they need. These 4 to 5 man rotation is what Nova is known for, and they're just catching Jungle Book off guard here. And look at the Liliana diving in there, doing so much damage, and look at the Reiki shot landing and doing so much damage, securing the kill there.
Bloodbath is happening here for Nova Esports. Nova has gone supernova, and the big boom has been creating success, as they have been completely demolishing. It is a soft ace. Mowgli did end up respawning, but all the while he was down throughout the entirety of that fight, not able to use that oh-so-powerful ultimate to his advantage, as 0-1 is going to try to get himself off iFlex. Don't think it's going to be enough.
He lands a knockup and the Binding Light.
There comes Dark.
Dark is playing so well, Liliana. He's landing all these key Binding Light stuns, and he's transforming into Fox form at the right time, when the enemy is low and taking these kills. Because Liliana, although she does a lot of bursts, she is extremely squishy. So you got to be very careful with how you play her. And Dark is just playing her so well. He carried in the game as L'Oreal in Game 2. Now he's carrying in the game right now as Liliana in Game 3 here, doing an awesome job. So one thing I want to talk about is what Skull King. Skull King is the key to the side of Jungle Book.
Yes.
He is so good on Preda. What he needs to do is they need to help set up his win condition. Preda is so powerful because Preda can use Plague Spectre and the Poison Gas Bomb to slow and knock people into the Plague Spectre, and then Preda can then use Ultimate, right? Once you turn the ultimate on for Preda, it resets both abilities. So you can then cast Plague Spectre again and Poison Gas Bomb, which Poison Gas Bomb in the ultimate form becomes a stun, not a slow. So that's what they need to do, is they need to leverage that combo ability, that 5 ability combo that Preda has, to beat the side of Nova here. That's the only chance right now, is to execute something like that to win these fights.
Let's highlight the one with the most amount of gold as well on its side of JungleBookSquad. A pick that we have used to been seeing at the tail end, because she ends up being banned all the time, Oxy on that Violet, despite the fact that she has about 1,000 more gold in her pocket than the rest of her team, hasn't had that much of an effect against this Nova roster.
Yeah, it hasn't. And look at that. They need to secure this out. And look at the damage coming out. Zephyrs is going to be taken out immediately. And wow, look at this fight. And that Thane ultimate actually missed. He missed that Thane ultimate. And that was a rough play. And now Nova has to disengage.
We just talked about the power of Oxy, that it hasn't been showing up thus far, but he ends up picking that kill. It's 1-for-1. Y01's going to be able to catch himself out too. The last tower attack and the shutdown's going to come out of Oxy. Meanwhile, iFlex is going to do everything he can to secure himself a little bit of victory, but here we are. It is the power of Violet indeed. Crayon, meanwhile, was able to take himself a high ground turret, so split focus, but the Nova team still walks away with the victory in that high ground turret.
Yeah, that's key. Getting a high ground turret is important, and look how low the mid high ground turret is. That is huge for the side of Nova, because now super minions are going to deploy. They have not lost any of their own towers. This gives them so much map pressure and control, because if they try to rush Dark there on the side of Jungle Book, Nova can easily rotate because they have the jungle and map control, because they have not lost any towers.
They haven't indeed. Almost 15 minutes into the game, despite the fact of the overwhelming difference of 8,000 gold in favor of Nova Esports, you have triple goose eggs on the side of JungleBookSquad. No towers, no slayers, no dragons, and that is not a statistic that you're probably happy for at this stage in the game.
Yeah, it isn't a statistic. They are now behind close to 9K gold lead. So Jungle Book needs to be careful and not get caught out here. That's exactly what Nova's going to do. They're going to posture and set up for a Dark Slayer here, and that's going to be a key fight there, is who's going to win the fight for the Dark Slayer, or who's going to secure the Dark Slayer and then win the fight is going to turn around this game completely.
As now we found ourselves in a little bit of a lull as the member of Nova Esports are going to acquire every piece of objective that they have. Y01 going to do a little bit of scouting. Remember, there are no vision possibilities outside of the Seagull in Arena of Valor. And so face checking, despite the scary potentials that it creates, is going to be the best way to scout things out.
He used Death's Embrace here. Mowgli is trapped in there, but he's a tank. So Mowgli is going to be able to survive the damage from Sipka. I feel like Sipka should save his ultimate for a team fight. I mean, you lock down Violet, you lock down anyone in that Death's Embrace, Nova's going to be able to easily destroy them. But look at Violet's items here. Violet has 4 tier 3 damage items, so honestly, Jungle Book has a way to come back into this game. She is pretty fed at 10.6k gold, equal and close to the gold of the other carries on the enemy team. So I feel like Jungle Book has a chance to come back as long as they can protect Violet and keep her long enough to get these kills and turn the fight around.
You also have the continuous scaling of Skull King as well. While he has completed 3 items just far, the Spoopy Mask being completed to get the piece of the puzzles coming up a little bit closer for item number 4. But all the meanwhile, it's going to require positioning as well as the solid tank of Madeline and Mowgli. We haven't seen much Max present either. The fact that he's so far behind.
Oh my goodness,
but
look at that damage from Liliana Dart, just making plays. Oh my god, that combo, that Binding Light and Shining Light combo just did so much damage on Alfredo.
And just like that, Nova Esports is going to come in, do the damage, ignore the final 2 members. Dark walking away, carrying the rest of his team, each tail making sure to lift the weight, and just like that, Nova wins.